Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and we are rolling out a new fast training week, and I'm so excited that you are joining us on this because if you don't know the history behind fast training week, this was something we started in our YouTube community when I first started teaching the principles of fasting. I wanted people to have an experience with the tools. And it just became so huge. We have hundreds of thousands of people that join us for Fast Training Week all over the world. It is completely free, and it became this incredible tool for all of us to experiment with different types of fasts. And so this Fast Training Week, we are bringing Eat Like a Girl into the picture. And each day of this week is going to have a different food principle that will be attached to a fast that you can play with. And I'm going to go through in each one of these videos, you're going to see a guiding principle and what I want you to focus on. And by the end of the week, you will have 5 principles down, which is amazing. And you'll be able to understand in a little more detail how to master this eating window. So before I dive into principle number 1, I want to talk about the eating window because it's really important that we master the eating window along with the fasting window. So remember, in Fast Like a Girl, I taught you the metabolic switch. So when we looked at the dieting culture, what was happening is we have been trying to manipulate food to get a result in our body. And in that, there's a lot of confusion. Obviously, there's a lot of diets, there's a lot of rigidity, there's a lot of this is good, this isn't good, and there's a lot of toxic food. So Fast Like a Girl was really meant to be this introduction to your metabolic switch, where actually if you take all your food and you compress it into an eating window, and that's a certain period of time, and you match it to a longer fasting state, and you switch in and out of that, you will finally get the result you've been trying to get on all these diets you've been going on. And that's exactly what happened with Fast Like a Girl, is we started to see people metabolically switching and they started getting results. And for everything from weight loss dropping to hormone balancing to the blood work. I mean, as I do this video, it's like a year and a half since Fast Like a Girl came out, and we've literally, my team and I had hundreds of thousands of people tell us these incredible results. So with Eat Like a Girl, I really wanted to help everybody learn how to switch back into food and use food as medicine. So I want you to remember, when you fast, you're putting yourself in a healing state. You're tapping into a healing state that your body was gifted with that nobody ever taught you. And so now when we switch back into food, we're using food as the medicine. And this is really important because I really want you to think about the fact that we use supplements as medicine, we use prescriptions as medicine, and we give those so much credit, but we don't give food the label of medicine, and it is. So as you go through this week, I've got a fast each day, and then I have a food principle that I want you to focus on, and in some days I have an exercise for you to do. And it's really so you can start to see food through the lens of being medicine, which is how we shall look at it. So this week we're doing the foundational 5. I'm going to tell you what the 5 are, and then we'll break it down day by day so you have that. So the first foundational 5 rule is blood sugar matters, calories don't. So on day 1 of your fast training week, I'm going to be talking all what you need to know about blood sugar and why I pray you stop counting calories. It's really a road to nowhere. Day 2, I'm going to go through a concept that I call nature's carbs. So, all this carb counting in the keto world, it's confusing. And people have gone from counting calories to counting carbs. And so I want to give you a lens in which to look at carbohydrates different. So on day 2, the foundational principle is eat nature's carbs, not human-made carbs. So on that day, when you get to that video, I'll explain what that looks like. Okay, day number 3 is another really interesting concept, which is feed your microbiome, not your taste buds. And the reason that this is an important concept when you switch back into that eating window is because we think our cravings are like our mind, but we don't realize that the microbes in our gut are actually controlling the brain and the cravings. And for women, and men can do this fast training week too, but for women, what typically happens is when they must master that willpower to eat the right foods, they think it's their fault. But what I'm going to teach you on that day is that it's really important that we look at how the foods we eat, how they feed microbes, and then they feed taste buds. And so then you crave certain things. So I'm going to break that down on day 3. Day 4 is protein is the hero macronutrient. Absolutely, we will be doing that, breaking that down. A lot of you have heard this, but how do we, the message right now is 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight, ideal body weight that you want to be. Well, what does that look like in a day? How do we master that? Again, we're back counting. And if we're going to make this a really effortless experience, this metabolic switch, it has to be intuitive. It has to have a flow to it. And every time we get rigid and counting's really good when you first start a habit, but it doesn't sustain you long term. So I'll talk about protein and all the ways you can use protein. And then there's a fasting window attached that day as well. And then the last day is fat doesn't make you fat. I really have been diving deep on my podcast to fat. I've been trying to bring the language of good fat back because it's a really important concept. So on that day, you'll be doing an exercise around adding more fat in and getting rid of the bad fat. So that's the overview of this fast training week. It is meant to bring fast like a girl and eat like a girl together in a workable part. We are doing this fast training week, but at least recording this and doing it with you all right before the launch of Eat Like a Girl. And it's exciting for me because I feel like we've all been in a conversation, and the conversation was, you have a metabolic switch and let's master fasting. And now we're going to have a conversation of let's master food. So you can go in and out of these two. And that's what this fast training week is about, and a unique lens we've never done on a fast training week before. So I'm super happy you're here. Let's go to day 1. Just wanted to give you an overview. So super happy that you're joining me on this experience. I know you're struggling to lose weight. It may be your fasting length. So in this video, I'm going to show you the perfect fasting length to unstick weight loss. In fact, it's such an incredible tool for weight loss. I think you should start with fasting before you change your food to be able to get into that door in for losing weight.